Hi, we're back with Union Street Media and founder and president Ted Adler. So Ted and I were talking this morning about a piece of software that we use, a chat software that we've been using for a little bit now, and I was hoping you could talk a little bit more about it for our clients and prospects.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the tool that we were talking about this morning was ReadyChat, and we had this great conversation, and then you came into me and you're like, we really got to get this on camera. Anyway, here we are. So we've been working with ReadyChat for a couple years now, and one of the things that I really look for when I'm evaluating products in the marketplace is, does this thing work? And the data on ReadyChat is really compelling. First, kind of how does it work? ReadyChat is a chatbot that sits on your website. And so when a visitor comes to the site, after a certain period of time, it'll pop up and it'll look, there's a picture of a person and it says, hey, do you have any questions, right? And the goal of ReadyChat is to get the name and phone number of potential prospects and then to send that information back to the broker. And they chat exclusively for real estate. They're basically online at all times because people are on your website at all times.
Yeah.
And they have a real life human on the other end of that, chat. And so, people will come onto the site. They may ask some questions. They're not going to give counsel on listings or anything like that.
Right.
The purpose is to pull the information off. And what we found is a couple things. One is there's great value in it. It's priced like very, very competitively. There's a discount for Union Street Media clients that we've negotiated. And beyond that, though, it actually generates a fairly competitive cost per lead. And so if you think about it, if you're spending I think it's around $18 or something like that for somebody's name and phone number that could possibly buy a house with you, that's a pretty good price, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is we were afraid that if we put it on the site, that it would actually sort of cannibalize leads, right? So that leads that previously were coming in to the broker at no cost, right, by being on the site,
Sure.
They would now be basically paying for.
Mm-hmm.
We actually found the total opposite. When we put it on the site, there was an aggregate lift, in the 20+% mark of the number of leads that were coming in.
That's great.
Yeah, and so you find that you look at a tool like this, and you sort of you have to have a certain amount of traffic on your site. I mean, if you have a site that gets no traffic, it will not work. I mean, obviously people have to come to the site and then in order to engage on it.
Right.
And it still is one of those things where every time we've deployed it on any of our clients' sites, they've seen really good success with it, and it's something that I just sit around and I'm like, why would you not have this?
Yeah. Having a live person to answer somebody immediately is the goal of a real estate brokerage website.
Well, yeah,
you only have a certain amount of time to reach back out to those people before they move on to the next agent on their list.
Yeah, absolutely. And there'll be little things too, where if you're going to go up to click the X button, the chat will pop up.
Yep.
The other thing too is just the culture of immediacy that we live in now, right?
Yep.
So one of the statistics that just absolutely blows my mind is the speed at which a response to a prospective buyer happens has a direct correlation as to whether or not that buyer will buy or sell their home with you.
Yeah.
If you respond within 15 minutes versus half an hour versus an hour versus 24 hours, literally the likelihood that they buy with you plummets every minute that you do not get back to them, right? And this was a study that was done by Real Trends years ago. It was a widely cited study. And so here's a tool that you put on your site, and from a user standpoint, somebody is engaging with ReadyChat, they think that they're actually having a real conversation with somebody in your brokerage. And so the other thing they found is that ReadyChat leads close at a higher percentage than just sort of general leads that come off the website, because their first interaction with you is actually, from their standpoint, engaging with somebody who is corresponding with them.
Right.
So it's just a really powerful tool and something that I obviously feel very strongly about.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for Union Street Media, for Ted, for Chris. Thank you. We'll see you again.